and it's going to open up the first recorder here. So I have all of my games except for, I think it was round 3. I played round 3 on stream, and I lost, and it was a really close game. And I could have timed the guy, but I was playing on stream, so I didn't really want to. There was about 4 minutes left, and he had like a full HP. No, he had like a half HP low pony versus my Aegislash, and he had Encore, so he could have Encored me into King Shielding, but I didn't want to time him. I just take the loss. I was playing really well that day anyways. Okay, I think we can start this up. Alright, so this is going to be round 1 from my experiences in Utah at the VGC. You can see my team on the bottom left is going to be Sableye, Arcanine, Aegislash, and Landorus going up against Emilio, who has Talonflame, Metagross, Sylveon, and Hydreigon. Pretty good stuff. How did I do in Utah? This is from top 8 on day 1 of the PC. So this is before the actual event. But all these games are really fun, and I got to save all my battles, which is really, really nice. So we're going to start this up. And you guys are going to be learning a lot more about my team as the games go on. I actually don't remember everything that happened, so this is a great chance for me to look back at this anyways. So we decided to lead off with Metagross Talonflame. Talonflame obviously can't be burned, and Metagross probably packs sub, so if he has a check to my Sableye, this is probably the best lead that he has. He also has that Sylveon in the back. So I go for my Intimidate. Actually, I'm not going to hit the Metagross because it has Clear Body, and we are going to see his Metagross pop the Mega, gaining Tough Claws. Mega Metagross is really, really strong, and I just, well, we're just going to see him Protect. And I'm obviously going to go for the Fake Out on the Talonflame. Most of the time people don't expect Fake Out on a Pokemon like Sableye, but I think that's what makes it one of the best leads in the game. But then going to see Metagross protect itself. Remember, obviously dodging my Flare Blitz. That's completely expected. There's no problems there at all. We're going to see him switch into Hydreigon, and then Talonflame pop a Tailwind here. I think a Tailwind here is really wasted, because Sableye and Arcanine are both Pokemon that use priority moves, and you're also going to see me use a lot of Quash this tournament. Quash is a move that makes my opponent's move get postponed till the end of the turn. So it's like, no matter what their speed is, I have a priority move that makes my opponent's move go last, and that's the way that this team plays out. So each and every turn, you see I'm just going to quash things, and I'm going to one-shot him. And I'm going to quash things, and I'm going to one-shot him. So we see he goes for the Will-O-Wisp with his Talonflame. Kind of different, but it's fine. I really like Sableye, Rappo? You are right. I think Sableye is the best lead in the game. This Sableye is actually Mega, and I just don't think I Mega this game. I don't think I have to. But this is a dual Mega team. You can see my team in the team preview below. And yeah, I think Sableye is really good, because it makes so many matchups a ton easier for Pokemon that wouldn't normally see play like Arcanine. I'm just going to pick a Pokemon, I'm going to one-shot it, and that's going to be that. So I'm going to switch out my Sableye. Obviously, I don't want to get one-shotted by a Hyper Voice going into Aegislash this turn. Pop a YOLO Extreme Speed onto the Talonflame, hoping to do a good chunk of damage, which I do pull off this turn. And we're going to see him go for a Brave Bird here. I knew it was going to come out eventually, and I didn't want my Arcanine to go down to a Brave Bird. I thought he might target my Arcanine. Like, let's say I quashed Sylveon, and he Brave Birded my Arcanine, I probably would have went down, and then I would have lost both my Pokemon for free. So we're going to see his Hyper Voice not do a ton of damage. It's going to let me actually fire off a second Extreme Speed, picking up the KO onto this Talonflame, which is exactly what I want to see here. Talonflame is a big check to my team, and it is going to cost my Arcanine the rest of its HP, but it's really no big deal. Damage has been done, and he actually goes for the Shadow Ball with his Sylveon, which is a move that you don't see that often, but full Special D, Calm, Aegislash is definitely going to be able to pull this one out. I'm going to proc my weakness policy, sharply raise my special attack and attack, and fire off, well, after Steel Eye 4, fire off a very, very big flash cannon off onto this guy. So that's exactly what I want to see here. Now that Sylveon's gone, there's pretty much nothing stopping my Sableye from coming back out, getting another Fake Out, and quashing my way to victory with this +2 Aegislash. So we're also going to see Tailwind Peter out. Like I said, it really doesn't matter. We're going to see Metagross come out, and this is his last Pokemon, I think, because I killed the rest of them. So we're just going to see Quash. Quash, like I said, it's going to make him go last. And Shadow Ball is going to come out, hit for super effective damage off the +2, and that is going to wrap up game 1. I saw you at the VGC in Utah. I have no idea what your Twitch name is, but I did see a lot of people from the community there. It was a great event. I had a lot of fun. Driving there wasn't the best, but this is game one from the PC of the day before, and yeah, I just really like the way this team plays. It ignores most type of speed tierings using Quash. It's very defensive, and through the use of having support Pokemon like Gastrodon and a secondary Mega and Gardevoir, I feel like this team can do just a lot of really good things. So, like I said, that's game one. I'm not really going too in depth. I'm pretty much just showing the replays because I got nothing else to do tonight, and I figured I might as well just get to it. So we're gonna look at game two here. I think this was probably the hardest matchup I had all weekend. I'm gonna be fighting into JT, and this is a Premier Challenge, so you only can get so many points from Premier Challenges throughout the circuit, and I think this guy got second in like 3 in a row, so he doesn't really get points unless he wins. And his team is super really cool. He has Scizor and Manectric, two of my favorite Pokemon that I used back in 2013 in almost every team, because I feel they cover for each other's weaknesses very well as a Scarfed Politoed and a Ludicolo. So Rain being my worst matchup with this team, and just different off-meta mons in Manectric and Scizor, as well as him being like a really high-level competitor from the East. Like he was just, man, he was really good, and we're just going to get into this game. We're going to see how I'm going to lead with Sableye and Gardevoir here, and that's just the only thing my team can really do against a Rain lead. My Sableye is not packing Confuse Ray. It's not packing any type of hacks moves. I got Fake Out, Will-O-Wisp, Quash, and Recover. So Sableye is not going to be doing a whole lot here, but we're just going to get right into it. Alright, so we're just starting it up. So like I said, Sableye, Gardevoir, pretty standard for me. I mean, there's nothing I can really do. The best thing to do is to lead with this, and depending on what he leads with, Mega accordingly. We're going to see he goes Manectric Scizor, and it's just a really bad position to be in. I mean, of course I can go for a first turn Fake Out on something. We're going to see, see him go for a Mega Evolve onto his Manectric. Pretty much wastes his Intimidate here, but there's no way both my Pokemon are going to take a ton of damage turn one. We're going to see, I think I go Mega Gardevoir this game. Yeah, Mega Gardevoir is going to come out just because Mega Gardevoir is better overall. I mean, Sableye is really good, but I just don't see a way that Mega Sableye wins me this game over Mega Gardevoir. We're going to see his Manectric Protect here. Doesn't want to eat a Hyper Voice and go down, and then we're going to see Scizor Protect as well. So first turn, he's playing very defensive, getting the speed he needs to be able to outspeed anything for next turn. Also avoiding my Fake Out, which is something that most players tend to not do, because like I said about game one, they just generally never expect Sableye to have Fake Out. So I switch into my Aegislash here, expecting maybe a Bullet Punch, and going for the Will-O-Wisp on Scizor, knowing that he probably has a Lumberry, and there's nothing I can do about it, but there's nothing he can really do about me Will-O-Wisping him either. Let's say he were to Swords Dance here, next turn I could just Will-O-Wisp again. We're then going to see him go for a Volt Switch, almost doing half to my full HP, like Special D Sableye, so that was very unexpected, to say the least. We're going to see him go into Politoed here and start the Drizzle. And I'm thinking that this is probably a Scarf Toad because it's been gaining a lot of popularity recently, but I can't really be sure. We're then going to see him go for a Nuke. Remember, this is the end of the second turn of the game. Yeah, see, this is, the end of the third turn of the game. He's going for the Bug Bite onto my Sableye, so he nuked that slot. Very smart play, getting rid of my Sableye, which is a Pokemon I kind of need to win this game. You see me send on my Gardevoir and immediately recall it, going into Gastrodon here, trying to get a trying to get a Storm Drain proc or a Bullet Punch drawn into my Gastrodon. I do get the Storm Drain proc, which is exactly what I need to start steamrolling this game. And we're going to see Aegislash Stance change and just get whatever little damage it can get off, and obviously Scizor protected, so really good turn, both sides there. I mean, he protected accordingly, and I switched in on a Storm Drain, so I'll take the trade any day. We see he comes back in with Mega Manectric here, gets another pretty useless Intimidate. My team has very few physical attackers. I would say Arcanine's a physical attacker, is a Life Orb, super strong, but my Landorus is a wall set, so it's not really that physical attacker Landorus you're used to seeing. But back to the battle, we see Ludicolo switch in on a +1 Scald in the Rain, not take like any damage at all, and I go for a Shadow Ball in the same slot. Remember, that is going to be that big Assault Vest Lucario, or Ludicolo, sorry. So there's not much I can really do here, but just try and like wait out the Rain, or like try and gimp the Ludicolo here. I have to protect here with Gastrodon. which is extremely predictable, but there's nothing I can really do about it. You see, he Volt Switches that slot and Giga Drains that slot. That way, no matter what I did, if I switched or if I stayed in, if I did anything other than Protect, I was going to eat something for it, which is pretty lucky for me. We see me switch out now, going into Aegislash here, and this turn he decides to Volt Switch against my Gardevoir. I'm actually surprised to see that that does less damage than it did to my Sableye. It's kind of funny, considering Gardevoir's full Timid, full like sweeper set. He goes for a Giga Drain on the Aegislash slot, and I know there's not that much to say. I'm just trying to wait out rain. I get a free Hyper Voice off here, which is going to do decent damage to the Ludicolo. And there's the rain stopping, but now there's a Scizor right here, and there's no way Gardevoir can really check anything with a Scizor on the board. I switch into Gastrodon here, doing a very, very risky play. Like, switching in there was so risky. I mean, he could have just, like, Giga Drained, Bullet Punch that slot, and automatically won the game. Because, well, I mean, I could have protected, but Aegislash has no KO power. So I switched Gastrodon in on a Ludicolo that was on the board, and now that the rain's back up, like, I was just sure he was switching out the Ludicolo to start the rain back up. That's how sure I was. But we're going to see him eat my Citrus Berry off my Gastrodon with a Bug Bite, which is really unfortunate, but we are going to be able to get a Shadow Ball off here onto the Scizor slot, so pretty much covering up for the fact that he ate my Citrus Berry. And he goes for a Psychic onto my Gastrodon. I thought I was completely safe here, but we're going to see him go for a double target onto the Gastrodon slot. Remember, my Aegislash did not King Shield here. I stayed in offensive stance, going for a Shadow Ball to pick up the KO on Scizor. And picking up the KO on Scizor means that I can use my Gardevoir again. Now we're about halfway through this game. I just got my first knockout. He has a Ludicolo and a Scarf Toad and a Mega Manectric versus these are my last two Pokemon. And there's just not... I'm definitely losing this game. But I don't want any spoilers, but I mean, I did pretty well at this tournament. And I said this was the hardest game I played all tournament. Bunch of really tech switches going on in here. This is the third turn in a row that I do not King Shield. I do not King Shield. I just stay in offensive stance, and this is going to win me the game. I'm going to pick up the KO on the Ludicolo, and I'm going to Shadow Ball, pick up the remaining damage onto the Mega Manectric. So I was definitely losing, and out of nowhere, bam, flipped it right around, and I have his Politoed singled out. All I got to do is wait for the rain to pretty much end, and this is pretty much over. So we're going to stance change finally this turn. I went for a Protect King Shield here. Yeah, there's the play. And I'm trying to remember exactly how it ends, because there's still a few more turns left of the game. But he's going to go for the Scald. Of course, he is Scarfed, and it is going to be able to pick up the KO on my Gardevoir. Nothing I can really do about that. But Aegislash should be able to grind this one out. It actually comes a lot closer. I'm just remembering how this game actually ends. So I go for a Shadow Ball here. I'm thinking, oh, Shadow Ball, King Shield, Shadow Ball, and I'll be fine. So we see that it doesn't do a whole lot. Like, it takes him to almost half. And stance change here, right? I think I'm going to have to hit him with 2 more. And that's pretty much the plan. So, yeah, he's going to Scald here. Remember, I still have a good chunk of HP, I think. Yeah, I have a relatively high amount of HP. He gets the burn here. So what would you guys in the chat do? Of course, I'm going to hit him with the Shadow Ball. It's not going to pick up the KO. But would you King Shield and take a turn of burn damage? Or would you just fight him in offensive stance? Because, like, Aegislash is such low base HP. I decided to stay in and, like, put it on his crit. But, I was pretty sure I would live just because I'm full specialty anyways. But, anyway, I ended up picking up the game. I mean, that Scald burning there, I was so sad because I was like, I've tried so hard to get back into this game, and I almost lost it. I want to know what you guys would do. I think I made the right choice. I'm going to read chat and get back caught up on this. Alright. Bunch of people talking about my hat. Awesome. The Junior International Challenge is coming up. I have to check that out too. I am from Sacramento, California. Am I hyped for the documentary? I'm not hyped for the documentary. I go to the Nugget Bridge like events and things. I talk with the Nugget Bridge people, but I'm not one of their Nugget Bridge. I'm not one of their Nugget Bridge people. I don't really tend to play the game the same way those guys do. But anyways, I beat one of them in this game. Got a really solid team, and Definitely shouldn't have won that game. I rarely bring the physical attackers. I mean, this team's all special attackers. I think if I had brought physical attackers, the Mega Manectric probably would have tore me up. Alright. So, like I said, Game 3 was on stream. You guys can find that on Nugget Bridge's Twitch channel. I did end up losing that one. Very close game to a Spore Parasect, Bellydrum Zigzagoon, or Bellydrum Linoon with extreme speed that I knew was coming, and I could have timed him out. There was about 4 minutes left on the timer, and I had a full HP Aegislash that could King Shield a Lopunny who could Encore my King Shield, but I definitely could have won in time. I just didn't want to time him out. I don't really like playing that type of game. I mean, you can look at my team. I'm running a Sableye, but there's no Confused Rare Swagger on it. There's no real hacks. The only hacks I wanted all tournament was hitting my Will-O-Wisps, and that's about it. So that's well, what did I just go out of that? Let's go back into the verse recorder. All right. Cozy Cakes is back for the hat. All right. So we're going to go into round 4. This is versus a guy named Rave Remix, and his team has a Garchomp in it, and it's so weird seeing a Garchomp that most teams aren't made to deal with Garchomp anymore. I mean, my team's okay. I have a Gardevoir, I have a Landorus, I have a Sableye, I have a Gastrodon. I'm pretty good at dealing with it, but most teams aren't. Like, most of the teams I build just for fun probably can't fight Pokemon like Garchomp. Did I beat TFC? Yes, I used a team just like this one, and I beat TFC at a Premier Challenge about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was using Breloom instead of Arcanine, and I think that's like the same team that I fought him. Yeah. But I fight him a lot. We go to the same Premier Challenges. Anyways, we're just going to hop right into this game, start off. Notice that he brought Venusaur, and I brought Gastrodon, so that's going to be one of those games. And here we go. Sableye and Arcanine leading it off for me. This is a lead that I love to do if I don't really know what my opponent's leads are. I can do an Intimidate with Arcanine. I can go Fake Out Nuke onto a slot, and then I can continue to Quash and go for big physical attacks with Arcanine to hopefully finish off the rest of my opponent's team. Because Arcanine has a ton of offensive pressure that most people don't really think about. So we're going to see him go Mega Venusaur. Completely fine, got no problem Mega Venusaur here. Gonna Fake Out at first turn, just completely take it out of the equation for the very first turn of the game, and go for a huge Flare Blitz off onto the Aegislash slot. He probably thought that I was going to ignore it, because I don't want to eat a King Shield or something. I personally just didn't want him to get a sub up, so I was just, I'll Flare Blitz this, even if I eat the -2, it's completely fine with me. And it's now time for Garchomp to come in here. Garchomp, really good against this board. I'm obviously going to protect this turn. I don't know if he's going to Earthquake. I would really hope that he Earthquaked his own Venusaur, but I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp on here. I'm expecting him to have a Lumberry because that's the standard item here, but we don't see a Lumberry. And I was really surprised, and I was like, well, I KO'd his Aegislash. I've burned his Garchomp. We see him take Life Orb damage, and that's pretty much game. He goes for a Giga Drain here. Tons of damage off onto my Sableye. And that tells me that he's heavily invested in the special attack, because normally moves don't do that much damage to my full Special Ball Sableye. I'm going to pop a Recover here. I'm not too afraid of Garchomp, and I know that Venusaur is heavily invested in the offensive stats, so I'm pretty sure my Arcanine can go for a very big Flare Blitz onto that guy. I know that he has thick fat, but it's really not that big of a deal here. Go for the full Adamant Life Orbed, stabbed, 120 base, Flare Blitz, almost getting the KO there. Exactly what I want to see, and I'm going to get dropped to about 12. What EVs do I run on my Arcanine? I run, you almost had it. You're asking if I'm timid. I'm actually adamant because it's a physical attacker. Timid is for special attackers, and this guy is just it's just a tank. And my Landorus set's like almost the same, but with an Assault Vest. I run 2 really bulky physical attackers. So Gardevoir is going to come out here. Remember, his Venusaur's low. I trace Thick Fat, which is kind of funny. But we're obviously going to see me go Mega here. And I'm wondering, because Garchomp is burned, but if he has a move like Iron Head or something weird, that would be kind of lame if it crit me. And we're going to see Venusaur go for a Protect here. It's not the biggest of deal. and we're going to go for the extreme speed onto the Garchomp slot, just because. Oh yeah, I remember why I did this, because I'm good at this game. Extreme speed in the Garchomp, because I knew I was going to go down no matter what move I did to my Life Orb, and he went for the Earthquake. Venusaur protect itself, it's no big deal. Just shows me that he doesn't have any super effective moves that could hit my Gardevoir, and I think this turn I went for a Psychic onto the Venusaur slot. Yeah, it's exactly what I did, because Garchomp was going to go down if it attacked anything and got a Life Orb use. So, ended up KOing the Garchomp, cost me my Arcanine, no big deal. I have a Pokemon that checks his Venusaur almost no problem. I'm going to send in Gastrodon here. Not the best play, but I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure I can pick up the KO on the Venusaur. I'm gonna go. I think I go for a double protect here, just because I don't want to eat a fake out, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing you can really do. I was actually really scared because I hadn't seen an Assault Vest yet. I was scared of him Giga Draining his Scrafty to get just out of my Psychic range, but he decides to go with the Sludge Bomb fake out, and so now that all the protect's off cooldown, I go for the Psychic, picks up the KO. I mean, he could have protected knockoff, but it wouldn't have actually KO'd the Gardevoir anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, see, I still live no matter what. So it's good to know that I made the correct play either way. And Hyper Voice is now going to come out, and that's pretty much going to be game, I think. You're asking if I have an Adamant or Jolly Arcanine. I have an Adamant one because I use Quash and Extreme Speed so much. I actually don't need to have any speed. I was actually thinking of switching it to a Brave Arcanine, but that might come at a later date. So that was round 4. I'm currently 3-1 in the event, and this is where I start fighting a lot harder players. That was probably one of my easiest matches of the whole weekend, but it was fun. This was actually an easy match, my bad. So I'm 3-1, and I'm fighting against a guy that I fought again on day 2. He has a pretty cool team, has Infernape and Mamoswine, Pokemon you don't really see all that often, but Pokemon that are still really good. So we're just going to hop right into it. You see I brought Sableye, Aegislash, Gardevoir, and Gastrodon. I don't think I Mega this game. Or if I did, it didn't really matter. I haven't had a chance to use Mega Sableye yet, but it is a Mega Sableye. I use it all the time. It's just it's not working here. So I switched off. I switched into Gastrodon here. Gastrodon's pretty good against both these Pokemon. We see his Bisharp goes for a Protect, and that's completely fine with me. Sableye's going to go for a Fake out on the Bisharp slot, and he goes for an Overheat. I think I had Aegislash out on the first turn. Overheat's not going to do a whole lot to my Gastrodon here, and it's going to sharply lower the Infernape special attack, and this is going to help me in day 2, because this guy uses the same Infernape in day 2. It was kind of funny. And I kept switching it into, like, proc my weakness policy and stuff. So we're going to see another Venusaur. It's the second one. Gastrodon's going to protect her. I did not want to eat a knockoff. And I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp onto the Bisharp slot, hoping that we see a Sash or an Orb. And he's going to go for the knockoff. He targeted my Sableye, and it was kind of funny that he's like, you're using item with Sableye? What is that? Is that new meta to avoid knockoff? And I'm like, no, dude, it's a Mega Stone, man. And he's like, whoa. It was the coolest thing ever. My record in Utah from this tournament, I ended up getting top 8. But I ended up scrubbing out in day 2. So we're gonna go for a Will-O-Wisp here. Remember, we burned the Bisharp, so it's pretty much useless. Switch out the Gastrodon in for Aegislash, and he goes for a big Iron Head. It's gonna do a lot more damage than knockoff. We're going to see him take Life Orb damage, going to take burn damage later. He goes for a Giga Drain onto the Gastrodon slot, not doing a whole lot to wall Aegislash here. And we're just going to play a little bit of a waiting game. That's how this team kind of works. There's not really that many hacks that go on. Like, I don't like Swagger, Confuse, and like Paralyze, hope people get parried and stuff like that. But I do a lot of waiting. I mean, this team is a team that can definitely take most games at a time. That's just not how I wanted to play this weekend. He's going to keep Giga Draining me, and I'm pretty much waiting for at least Sableye to go down. But I want Sableye to go down before Bisharp goes down. Or sorry, after Bisharp goes down, if possible. I go for a pretty big Shadow Ball onto the Venusaur slot, doing a good amount of damage here. And I'm trying to remember what happens. I kind of think this is just what happens for the next few turns. I mean, I'm going to King Shield. I'm probably going to recover. Sableye doesn't have any attacking moves. His moveset is Fake Out, Quash, Will-O-Wisp, and Recover. It's made to be a Mega Sableye set or a regular Sableye set. Well, it's made to be a regular Sableye set with Quash, but in a Trick Room. When you Quash them in a Trick Room, oh, it's the most beautiful thing ever, because they think they're so cool, and you just Quash them and make them go last. Any suggestions on Politoed Ludicolo Rain? Watch this VOD. I played a game 2 games ago with one of the best Politoed like Ludicolo teams I've ever fought against, and it was really, really good. I'm trying to remember what happens in this game. I was just reading the chat. I got a weakness policy proc off, I think was a knockoff, but it shouldn't have been that big a deal because he's burned. So go for another Recover with Sableye. If he can't take it out, he can't take it out. He doesn't. It's not really forcing my Mega, and I think I brought Gardevoir, so it's not the biggest of deal. I mean, I could always Mega Evolve and Recover in one turn just to get the little bit of a Prankster boost and the like boost from the defenses that I needed to, but I just don't think I do. So my Aegislash is at +2, goes for a big attack on the Venusaur. I don't think I pick up the KO here, but I think the burn does finish it off. Bam. Yeah. CT Beast guy. I just literally played it like 2 games ago. I might go over it again at the end if you want. So he sends out his Mamoswine here. I'm obviously going to King Shield. I think I just Will-O-Wisp the Mamoswine. And like I said, it's just one of those games that nothing really crazy happened, but he didn't even force my Sableye to Mega. Like, I was never put in a position where I was like, oh man, gotta watch out for that. I was definitely always in control. I really like using 2 ghost types because I just really like the way the typing works when there's 2 of them on the board. There's not that many things that check both of these Pokemon. And if there is, it's stuff that's checked by the rest of my team. So Bisharp's going to get completely grinded down by its Life Orb and the burn. And that's how this game went. I mean, he sends this Infernape out. I can't burn that. Not in this gen. I don't think I could ever burn that. So I go for the Quash. This is probably my first Quash of the day. Or, sorry, the first Quash of this series. And it's going to make him go last. I think he finally picks up the KO. I'm going to finally pick up the KO on Sableye. I could have Mega'd and Quash, but I didn't want him to, like, protect. And one of the reasons I like using dual ghosts, especially as leads, because it stops people from using Fake Out. And there's so many people that are so reliant on it right now. So we see I go in stance change. I am at +2. He was Quash, but he's going last. He's going to eat the Shadow Ball, pop the Air Balloon. He's going to pick up the KO on the Infernape. And from here, I mean, it's pretty much just game. So, send out my Gardevoir here. And I think I just finished off like that. Alright, so Gardevoir's going to go Mega, just so I showed him that I do have a Mega. I just wanted to finish this off, because you never want to just make games take longer than they should, because DCs can always happen. I mean, obviously King Shield here, because I don't know if he's Scarfed or anything. But, I mean, he's burned anyways, and I'd rather just attack him from Shield form anyways. He goes with the Icicle Crash, it's not going to work, and Hyper Voice does a good enough amount of damage to finish this guy off. And that was round 5. That was round 5. I think this one goes 7 or 8 rounds. And I think that was the last of my easy games. That was pretty easy. I mean, I didn't really have to do anything. I mean, I brought Gastrodon. I didn't even have to switch it in ever. And you may think, why would you bring a Gastrodon to a game that has Venusaur? Well, I have a Gardevoir, and Gardevoir, I feel, does check Venusaur. And if I take out the Venusaur, you can look at the rest of his Pokemon, or Pokemon that can't KO Gastrodon. So that's why I usually like to bring it. It's just a little habit of mine. I need to start bringing Gastrodon to more games, because a lot of the time I just don't. I lose a lot of the games at like a higher level that I don't bring Gastrodon to, and that's all my fault. So, going into the next round, it's going to be against Legacy VGC. Some of you guys may have heard of this player from Nugget Bridge. I think he's from Arizona with a lot of other like high-level players. He's using Kangaskhan, Smeargle, Rotom Wash, and Heatran. And from the rest of the tournament onwards, the next 4 games, you're just going to see Heatrans from my opponents. And Heatran tears me up. I use a slow Landorus. I use a slow Arcanine, slow Gastrodon. And if they get a sub up, it's just really hard for me to deal with it. So we're going to go right into it and get the battle started. Alright. So I go Arcanine, Sableye. Like I said, this is a lead when I don't know what my opponents are really going to do, and I just want a lot of offensive pressure. This is probably the most offensive lead that I can do with my team. It's going to get the most done in the shortest amount of time. I get a nice double Intimidate off onto the Kang and Smeargle. And of course, we're going to see him go for the Mega here. Now, I don't think I Mega with Sableye. Do I Mega? If I Mega'd, I would never Mega on turn 1. I don't really remember. So I go for the Fake Out on the Smeargle slot. So I don't want to eat Dark Void for free, right? And he goes for a Power Up Punch on my Arcanine. So he was definitely going for that Dark Void play, I think. Or he was going for a Transform play, which we'll come back to later. Because if he goes for a... Well, we'll just see anyways. So I go for a big close combat. It's going to pick up almost the KO onto the Kangaskhan. I really, really wanted that KO. Not going to get it. That's that. We're still on the... what turn are we on? Whatever. Anyways, I'm like completely wrong in every situation. We're going to see him switch out of Smeargle, right? We're going to see him switch Smeargle out. Going into Rotom Wash. I go for a Will-O-Wisp onto the Kangaskhan slot just because I don't want to eat more damage than I should. And Kangaskhan's going to go for a turn. Remember, he is burned. He is definitely burned. But I have a close combat drop, so it's still going to be enough to take me out. Hit 2 times, Arcanine is going to go down. So he does have a Pokemon. Actually, did I pick up the KO? No, I didn't, which really sucks. But I am going to send out Aegislash here. He can't do that much. He's going to go for a Sucker Punch. Remember, he is burned. But that's exactly what I wanted to see. It's going to proc my weakness policy here. And it's pretty much going to let me ride the cruise control for cool all the way into his Rotom Wash. So I go for a Will-O-Wisp. I think I targeted Rotom Wash, yeah. Because there's nothing else I can do. There's literally nothing else that I could really do. I could have quashed the Rotom Wash, and that would have been really bad. He goes for a Will-O-Wisp on my Aegislash here. Obviously, there's not that much he can do here either. He doesn't know if I have Gastrodon, so he doesn't want to risk Hydro Pumping. Stance Change is going to come out, and Shadow Ball is going to do a ton of damage with this Rotom. Yeah, quite a bit of damage, proccing the Citrus Berry. So Kangaskhan's going to go down this turn. Rotom Wash is burned in half. I have an Aegislash that's burned. Arcanine's down, so I'm not in a great position, but his Mega is down. His Mega Kangaskhan is no longer a threat, and I'm not too afraid of Smeargle. So it's up to whatever this last Pokemon it is, and of course it's going to be Heatran. Heatran is a major threat to my team, so I'm going to go for a Quash onto the Heatran slot. Make it go last, so if it tries to sub, it might not have enough HP. He goes for a Thunderbolt onto my Sableye. It's not going to be doing all that much. Shadow Ball is then going to come out onto the Heatran. I'm hoping to put it real low. Of course, it is going to put it real low, and he went for a Flash Cannon onto my Sableye, showing me that I don't know if he has Heat Wave, but he didn't want to use it, and that he's too low to sub. So pretty good stuff from here. And Aegislash is obviously just going to recall. I don't want to mess with the... I don't want to mess with this board at all with that Aegislash being burned. So Sableye's going to go for recovery here. I'm just going to try and wait this one out just a little bit. Rotom Wash is getting chunked down. I don't think Heatran has the leftovers, so it's not that big a deal. He's going to go for a Heat Wave here. And I think these are the rest of my Pokemon. Yeah, so I should Mega here. I don't remember this game exactly, but I really feel like if I Mega'd and recovered, that would be pretty good. I guess I don't have to. What is my Sableye set? It's so interesting. It is Fake Out, Quash, Will-O-Wisp, and Fake Out, Quash, Will-O-Wisp, and Recover. It's made to be a Mega Sableye set, and that's about it. Which is funny that I'm not Mega Evolving, but I haven't really had to. I'm just wasting his time doing that, making him think that I still have Mega Gardevoir, I guess. No, he's already seen all my Pokemon. Why didn't I Mega? I guess it's because I wanted to keep quashing stuff if I had to. That's probably why. So I KO the Heatran with the Scald, and this is where the game gets really, really weird. We're on turn 7 right now, right? And this game's over. Now my opponent, Legacy, just said, "You got it. I'm running." And I'm like, okay. Because it's over, right? What's Smeargle going to do by itself? He transforms into my Gastrodon. He didn't run. And I Scald and proc his Storm Drain. And so I'm like, what the hell, man? And I don't know. That was really weird. But I Flash Cannon the slot because you can't Shadow Ball and Smeargle. And this is why I said he might have tried to transform turn 1. But right here, I'm like, well, I'm screwed. I'm probably going to lose because my Pokemon don't have, like, PP maxes and stuff like that done. So, like, my Gastrodon isn't playing with a full deck. And, yeah, this game takes about 10 more turns. It takes 20 turns total. My Eevee's on my Sableye set. It's full HP specialty. Pretty standard. I think I'm like just a specialty nature. But yeah, you can see how I get a Shadow Ball off here. But it's not like it's gonna be winning me anything. Because he has that +1 on the Gastrodon. And I just gotta try and wait this out. So he's gonna try and wait out my Ice Beams. I'm gonna try and wait out his Ice Beams. I'm really just trying to wait out his recovers, and that's what I'm trying to go for. So he goes for a recover here, that's 1. Remember, when Ditto transforms, or sorry, when not Ditto, when anything uses transform, they only get 5 PP of any given move. So I go for an Ice Beam here, and I realized, shit, that doesn't do anything, and I only have like 8 of them left. So go for a Protect here, hoping to see anything other than Scald. He goes for an Ice Beam, wastes 1, and he wins a Speed Tie this time. Goes for an Ice Beam, gets a Freeze. And so I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? This is how I'm going to lose this game? And so right here I said, I could just Timer Style you, man. But that's not how I roll. Gets a Recover off, goes back to full. I'm going to melt the ice using Scald, which is the correct move to do. But it's going to just give him another boost. And I don't know what to do from here, you know? Like, we're both just wasting each other's PPs. I go for a recover here, and if I get frozen again, I lose. That's definitely how this one's going to go. So I go for a recover. He went for Scald to proc my Storm Drain. He probably thought I was going to go for like a double Protect. But now I can Protect. And yeah, this is pretty much game. I mean, because he only has like 2 Ice Beams left. So he's trying to freeze. He has to do like a really, really big damage, and it's not coming off. Because I can just recover it out from here. Because I can always Scald to get rid of the freeze. But I mean, if he crit froze me, I would have lost. So I won this game. It was really close. It shouldn't have been super close. But I made that huge misplay on when it was like supposed to be the last turn of the game. I should have just protected with Gastrodon. I should have just protected and went for like the Flash Cannon. Because he would have not been able to transform. It would have been really dangerous for him to transform into my Aegislash-2. But of course he would target the Gastrodon slot there. So future reference. That ever happens to you, just protect to block the transform. Alright, so, yeah. My last round is against Dark Assassin. Some of you guys may know this player from Nugget Bridge. Really standard team. Look at that. Kang, Sylveon, Heatran, and Amoonguss. Doesn't get much more standard than that. Everyone's seen that team a million times before. And, yeah, Sableye, Arcanine, Gastrodon, and Aegislash. I'm going to get into it. Alright. So what's going on? We see Sylveon and Kang, and again, I go Arcanine and Sableye. It's just one of my favorite leads against Pokemon like Amoonguss, and especially against Pokemon like Kang, because I have that really big close combat. I also have a pressure with the burn, and I don't want to eat a like scrappy fake out, so I just switch out, because I don't want to eat like a scrappy fake out into a Hyper Voice. We're going to see a Mega here. And he's going to do a play that I think he goes for the, no, that's someone else that does this. Alright, so he just goes for the fake out. He goes for the standard play, right? Standard play, gets a crit on the first one, doesn't really matter. And then it's going to get the flinch. We know that I'm faster than Sylveon, which kind of matters. I mean, sometimes I'm not. So, big damage on my Arcanine. That really sucks. And we're going to see him withdraw the Sylveon. He never, ever wants to test these waters with the Flash Cannon. Going into a Heatran here. So pretty good stuff. He might have also expected like a Will-O-Wisp or like a Fire Attack or something. So I protect here. I was expecting like a Sucker Punch or something. And we're going to see Stance Change come out. And I think, do I target Kang? Am I good? Oh, tell me I'm good. Alright, cool. I target Kang because I know that that's a Pokemon that I need to deal with here. Kangaskhan's out. I'm also going to get the special D-Drop, which really, really messes me up this game, I feel. So I switch out, go into my Sableye here, right? Use for a Sucker Punch is going to fail. Heatran gets a sub up. Remember, I said that's my weak link is cowardly Heatrans behind subs. So I go for a Flash Cannon here onto the Kang. And I get the KO. I got the crit, but I don't think I needed it. But it definitely baited. It definitely influenced my whole turn. Like, that Heatran would not have gotten the sub up if I didn't get the special D-Drop the turn before. So he's going to send his Sylveon back out. And I think I just switched to my Sableye, so I probably could have went for a fake out play, but I didn't want to eat a Heatran attack, so this is just all types of bad. I go for the fake out on the Sylveon because there's nothing else to really do, and he goes for a pretty big Earth Power, so he's seen I think the only move this one is used is Earth Power so far, other than Sub. I don't think he's Flash Cannoned yet. So Earth Power's not doing a whole lot. And the reason why he Earth Powered because he didn't want to get wide guarded. That is definitely a move H-Slashes do carry. And I'm going Mega Sableye. I can't believe I didn't go Sableye all tournament. I went Sableye in round 3 in like the 25 turn game. So that was probably just enough Mega Sableye for me. I realized that probably the Heatran's behind a Sub, and I need to be able to live through the Hyper Voice. So we're just going to see how this goes. He goes for another Earth Power on my Gastrodon. And it's going to activate my Citrus Berry, and I'm just praying that I can break this Heatran Sub, because there's nothing else I can really do here. He goes for the Hyper Voice. Big damage. And my Sableye actually lives, because, well, that's about as high end as you can really hit. There is a small % chance you KO, but I live at 1, and that's the first thing I've ever heard of a Sableye living through a Hyper Voice. So that's Eevees for you, man. Those things are pretty good. I ended up breaking the Sub, but I'm not in a position to do anything about him setting up a second one. He goes for an Earth Power here, and he definitely could have just subbed again. I don't know why he didn't, but he probably just didn't know exactly that much about Mega Sableye. He didn't want to eat like some sort of... I don't know if he knows that I get Magic Bounce, because most people don't know that much about Mega Sableye, so I'm really happy he didn't get a sub back up, but it's not like I'm in a position to do anything about this game. I mean, I think I have an Arcanine that's like not topped off, and I think I have an H-Slash. So H-Slash is going to come out. Arcanine is going to come out. This is not looking good for our heroes. I mean, it looks like I have super effective moves on both my opponent's Pokemon, but they have the same thing against me for the most part. He's going to withdraw Sylveon. Remember, he never lets his Sylveon even risk eating a Flash Cannon or anything. He goes into a Moongus here. And, yeah, this sucks. So I protected with my Arcanine that turn. I thought he was going to, like, Earth Power me, and I wasn't scared of the Heatran's, like, Heat Wave or anything. So that's why I went for that whole weird play. I go for a Flash Cannon on that slot, and there's no way to break a Moongus here. There's no way. I mean, the only thing I can really hope for is that a Moongus doesn't Rage Powder, which of course it is going to Rage Powder. I went for the... I think I went for the Close Combat, but I don't even think we're going to see it. Yeah, I went for the Close Combat on the Heatran that turn, but it's not even like it comes into play at all. Arcanine's going to go down because Heatran actually is faster than my Arcanine. That's something I definitely could have fixed for this tournament, but I just hadn't been hitting any on ladder. And I know Heatran's like a really good Pokemon, but I just hadn't been hitting any, so it's why I lost this game, and it is why I lose the tournament in the end. So this was the last round, and he was actually the undefeated. I got the pair up into him. So he went undefeated in all the rounds of Swiss. And, yeah, I get to go on to top 8. Let me get a drink. Alright. So hope you guys are having fun. These next couple games, they're not fun for me. We just see me get super sad. We're going to be playing Instant Fuego here. Another guy from Nugget Bridge, really good, really strong team. I mean, it's going to be a Sableye mirror match, and he has a Heatran which is faster than my Arcanine, and Landorus is faster than my Arcanine, and a Sableye that's completely different from mine. I think I outplayed him in this match, but I just lost, and we're gonna start it up. You guys will see it. You guys will see. It's not salt. It's just like I wish you guys will just see it. I lead Gastrodon Sableye here because there's nothing else I can really do. And I wanted to be able to check like his Heatran or his Landorus if he led with it. Obviously he didn't lead with them, so I'm going to switch out and go right into my Sableye. So Sableye versus Sableye battle. And this is another reason why I did that was just to stop his Kangaskhan. He does Mega, and now there's no way his normal moves or fighting moves or any other moves can hit my Pokemon. He has to go for like Sucker Punches or Crunches. And he's going to start off with the Hacks right off the bat. And this is why I lose the game. It's because my Sableye doesn't go for Hacks. And that's all his Sableye is going to go for all game. I mean, it's a shitty excuse, but I mean, that's why I lost the game. I lost the game because my Sableye doesn't have Confuse Ray. And that's just my choice, because I like the set that I have. the set that I have works 100% of the time, whether I like it or not. The Confuse Ray set, which is the one that I beat PFC with about a month ago, it sometimes works. It works if you get lucky. You don't have to get lucky to play with the way I play. You just got to be better. So I switch into my Arcanine here to eat potential fire type attack, potential, anything. I just wanted a better switch into a Pokemon that has pressure on onto Heatran. I also Mega my Sableye this turn, hoping to bounce back a Confuse Ray. What I didn't know is that he knew that I was Mega Sableye because there were people talking about it at the tournament. So yeah, so he's obviously going to go for a foul play on me instead. He's not going to risk like yeah, he didn't want to risk going for the Confuse or anything. Just goes for the foul play. Gets a crit, not that big a deal. I'm super bulky. So he goes for a Confuser on Arcanine again, and Heatran. We're going to see Heatran pop a sub. I'm trying to close combat the Heatran. I'm pretty sure I get the one shot unless he has a Chople Berry, and hit myself Confusion. That's how this whole match goes. So I go for a Will-O-Wisp on a Sableye. I can try and grind it down and hopefully get it low enough to KO with a Flare Blitz or something. That's definitely one of my plans. Looks like I just got a sub. Awesome. Ace of Jokers. Nice job, man. We are trying to set up like sub emotes. I can make a few more of those. I'm trying to think of things I can do for subs, but I don't have that much stuff off the top of my head. Just going to be streaming a bunch of content. I can try and like breed stuff and give you like extra 5 IV stuff that I have, but really appreciate the sub. It means a lot to me. Back to the game. We are just seeing my team get hacked out. That's just how this matchup goes. I'm using Mega Sableye, but there's nothing I can do to break this Heatran sub. I mean, I switch in with now I have 2 things, right? I have 2 things that can both break the Heatran sub. I can KO the Heatran this turn if I don't get hacked out. He goes for the Protect Confuse Ray, standard play. There's nothing I can really do about it. And this is just one of the major faults of my team. Heatran with a sub. Heatran's a Pokemon I didn't play against a lot in testing. I just didn't see a lot in Battle Spot or Showdown. And I didn't EV train my Arcanine to be able to outspeed them because I didn't see a lot of them. So yeah, I know one person said that it's like a shitty excuse, like that he went for hacks. The excuse wasn't that losing to hacks really sucks. It definitely influences the way you play, but the sub on the Heatran definitely was the reason why I lost this set overall. We see that I went for like a 4-turn switcheroony just to magic bounce this Confuse Ray back in his face, and stream was like laughing at that, but I know the stream was having like a terrible time watching this matchup because you guys are probably thinking the same thing. It's just like a switch fest, like a wall fest. I'm trying to switch around Confuse Ray, and there's just not that much I can do about it. So I switch Mega Sableye out because I can't do anything here. I mean, I can't do anything to the Heatran. Switch out into Gastrodon, and like by now he knows my number. There's not that much I can do. I eat a Flash Cannon here. That's not that big of a deal. And I think I go for the target on the Sableye. Yeah, so I Flare Blitz the Sableye. Sableye is now off the board. I have an advantage here. But like this is another thing. Like I have the advantage here. I've taken out his wall. He has no KO power on any of my Pokemon. His Kangaskhan, well, I mean, he has like little KO power, but I mean, like I have 2 Ghost types in the back. I'm thinking, like it's in my mind. I could just time this guy. I could just time him. But I won't. I won't. Because, like, the moment that I start playing like that, I have already lost, I think. The moment I try to, like, play... I understand if you have, like, 30 seconds left in your timer for, like, the full duration of the actual game, you can time someone out. That's fine. But if, like, you're like, alright, I got 7 minutes. Let's do it. The moment I start playing like that, I've already lost. Because there's no way to get better as a player or find actual mistakes that you made. Like, this is a mistake. Fighting this Kangaskhan right here, doing this is a mistake. I should have just switched to Sableye and fought the Sableye and, finished him off. It's my fault for seeing return. I expected double edge, so I thought worst case scenario I would trade effectively. It didn't end up that way, and so that's another reason why I lost. I mean, this guy's a great competitor. He ended up getting second in the tournament, and I shouldn't have been so eager to KO his Kang. I should have just taken out the damn sub. Before I leave, what does it mean to time someone? So you have a 15-minute timer in each of your games. And you have 15 minutes to like pick and choose all your moves. So that's what that means. And at the very end of the timer, whoever has, more HP, more Pokemon wins the game. And it's just a really slimy way to win. Slimy way to win that my team could definitely do without trying. So I gotta mention that. Anyway, so I think I break the Heatran sub, but it's not like it's gonna do me that good. He sends out Landorus here. Landorus is pretty good against the stuff that I have left. But, I don't know. I can't risk the Heatran getting up another sub. So, I go King Shield here. Just hoping to eat, like, something. And he goes for a Rock Slide here. And he misses on Sableye, which is pretty lucky for me. I think he went for a Flash Can. There's a Flash Can. I'm trying to remember exactly how this game ended. I know how I lose, but, yeah. So he's going to be stuck using Rock Slide. He doesn't want to EQ his own Heatran. This is my last Pokemon here. And, yeah, I remember how I lose. He pops a sub here, and I'm like, I'm fine. I think his only fire move is, like, Heat Wave. And I can definitely, I don't think there's anything wrong with PP-ing out a move, but I definitely think I can. And I get flinched there and I lose. And I'm like, whatever. So that was game one. This last run is a best of 3, because top 8 is the best of 3. So, I lost game 1. And we're going to see my team for game 2. So my team for game 1, Aegislash, Gastrodon, Sableye, Arcanine. I felt this is a team that's really good against these guys. I decided to go with Landorus instead of Aegislash, just because. I felt that I just needed something to check the Heatran more. This is a really weird Landorus set, and I think this is the first time I've used it almost all tournament. But I didn't feel like the way I played the game was wrong. And looking at his team, his other Pokemon was like a Scizor. There's no way Gardevoir is going to work against this guy's team. So we're going to start up the last game, get into it. Alright, so I lead Sableye Gastrodon again, just hoping to catch his Landorus or his Scizor or his Arcanine or something like that. This time we are going to catch the Landorus. Sorry, did I say Arcanine? I meant Heatran. Anyways, he wasted Intimidate. Pretty good for me. I feel like I'm pretty ahead here. Go for a Fake Out here. Even more ahead. I don't think I showed that in the first game. And he goes for a Confuse Ray. So straight off the bat, bam, Confuse Ray. So worst case scenario, we make the battle, make the first turn a wash. And I go for a Scald. And I actually think, yeah, I targeted that slot. I thought he was just going to switch. I do pick up the burn there. And I just did not think that I thought there was no way that this Landorus just stays in to fight Gastrodon. So I was really surprised. That's why I didn't go for like an Ice Beam or something. And he switches in with his Heatran here. Pretty good stuff. I decided to switch out my own Sableye and go into my Landorus here, knowing that he's going into his Heatran to try and switch in on a Will-O-Wisp. Throughout this whole day of tournament, I didn't Will-O-Wisp a single Heatran or proc a single Flash Fire, and I'm pretty happy about that. So I went for a double switch that turn. This way, worst case scenario, only one of my Pokemon is confused. So I get a pretty useless Intimidate, but I have 2 Pokemon that check this Heatran. I have this guy's number, and he Will-O-Wisp me instead of Confuse Ring. So I'm thinking I'm pretty safe. We're going to switch out my Landorus here, because I don't want to eat a Will-O-Wisp for free. Going with my Sableye, and he goes for a Confuse Ray on my Arcanine instead. And I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? I could have just EQ'd your Heatran. But instead, Heatran pops a sub, and it's going to be just like game 1. Arcanine tries to break the sub, and Arcanine hits a self-confusion, and that's pretty much the game. Same way as game 1. Sableye switches out. There's nothing I can really do now that Cat's out of the bag with Mega Sableye. Going into Gastrodon here, his Sableye is going to pop a Recover. He probably doesn't want to eat a Flare Blitz and go down just like last time. This game looks just a lot like game 1. And we see him go for a Heat Wave here. Pretty big damage, considering it's the regular Heat Wave. And it gets crit my Gastrodon, and it burned my Gastrodon. Yeah, this is definitely where the luck has ran out. I go for a close combat. Actually pick it up onto the Heatran. It's going to break the sub here. But man, this is a pretty gross game. And my Gastrodon actually doesn't have Earth Power. It has Protect, Recover, Ice Beam, and Scald. So if you guys are wondering about that, I'm not running Earth Power. There's not that much I can do against Heatran. But I could 2-shot him, and he has no KO power towards me most of the time. Other than a crit burn. That kind of sucks. So I switch out my Arcanine, go into Sableye. There's nothing else I can really go into here. He goes for a Confuse Ray there. The Confuse Rays are everywhere, and I just gotta try and hit him, you know. He goes for a Heat Wave here. Pretty, you know, big damage again. I think it procs my Citrus Berry here. So it's all on Gastrodon. Gastrodon, you gonna be confused? Are you gonna be confused? Of course Gastrodon's confused. Gastrodon itself a confusion, so we're not gonna get to KO Heatran, even though we've had a few chances to. To finish off that Heatran, which is the main Pokemon in the way of me winning the game. Go for the Fake Out on the Heatran, and you know, we're still trying to waste time. And now he actually Confuse Rays my own Sableye, because I was planning on this game to just quash his Heatran down and then KO with all my slow Pokemon. It's not gonna end up working. Heatran's gonna be flinched, and Gastrodon's gonna hit Self-Confusion again. So that's like the third or fourth turn we've had to finish off this Heatran. It's not gonna work. And now Gastrodon's in like KO range from everything because it's taken 4 or 5 turns of burn. So Sableye's confused. Go for the Quash onto the Heatran, so Gastrodon is going to be able to get a chance to attack it. He goes for a Foul Play this turn. Onto Gastrodon. Doesn't do that much damage. Gonna go for the Scald here. And how's this one end up? Yeah. I don't pick up the KO because it's just a regular Scald. It's just a regular effectiveness. He misses the Heat Wave of my Sableye. It doesn't really matter there. But I think he does pick up the KO with Gastrodon after the burn. And, like, what am I supposed to do, you know? Like, I had myself confusion a bunch of times. Gastrodon goes down. Now the Gastrodon's gone, I have, like, nothing to really stop Landorus. I still have to take out the Heatran. And, I got this Arcanine here. So I have to try to not be confused with my Sableye. I know he's probably going to switch in with his Landorus. And there's just, like, nothing I can really do. I mean, I could have tried to Flare Blitz his Heatran. Probably should have just went after his Sableye and then like Mega Evolved with my Sableye and like regrouped and just burned all his stuff. But you know, I'm trying to play way too fast, I think. I'm just trying to force everything. I should have Mega Evolved like a million years ago, but I'm hanging on trying to use Quash. Quash is going to fail because of the switch. Close Combat's going to come in, and Close Combat's not doing that much because I'm intimidated and he's Flying type. And I don't see it. I don't see it. I see ways that I could have played this game better, but I don't see anything I could have done. Like, there's a million things I could have done differently. I know why I lost, but it just sucks watching it, you know? So I'm going to switch out my Arcanine, go into Landorus here. I knew he was switching out, so it's no big deal. Landorus is going to come in here, but now I have a Pokemon that can just eat, like, Will-O-Wisp and lose automatically. So he goes for a Confuse Ray. He always Confuse Rays. Remember, that's a smart move there, just because you don't want to Will-O-Wisp an Arcanine. And my Sableye's going to go for a Recover. Just playing a really defensive turn here. And they called me out on stream, because this whole match is being streamed. They called me out here saying I did a really weird play. So he goes for a Recover here, right? Now I'm thinking, if I can KO that Heatran, I'm going to win. And that's exactly what I believe. Quash is going to fail, just because I tried to quash his Sableye. And he won the speed tie. He goes for a Heat Wave, right? Heat Wave. Hits myself a Confusion. And this is just like the worst game ever. The worst series of all time. I've hit myself Confusion more times than attacked, I swear. So, we're going to see Will-O-Wisp. He misses. He misses. I recover here. Now I'm making a good play here. I feel like I'm making the right play. Recover because there's no other move to do. Heatran Heat Waves. And he freaking burns my Landorus, which is completely fair because he missed a Will-O-Wisp. But it's so lame. I mean, I take out the Heatran. I don't KO his Sableye. And I KO my Sableye. And I'm burned. And that's pretty much the end of my tournament. This happened at like 2-something in the morning. And I wasn't salty, I was just disappointed. And at the very end of the series, I told the guy, and I apologized to him the next day because I felt really bad. I was like, you know what, man? At least I don't rely on hacks to win. He's like, you used Confuse Ray? And I was like, I didn't. I didn't use Confuse Ray. And he looked at his notebook and he's like, oh, you should probably use Confuse Ray. And I was like, yeah, you're right, I probably should. But this game's over, and that's all the tournament games that I got for this tournament. I'm gonna eat the rock slide, and I got nothing left. My Sableye isn't like a well, it is a gimmick, but it's not like a hack set. It's just a Mega Sableye set, and I think this is probably the last tournament I'm gonna bring it in. I brought it to Premier Challenge, I won. Brought it to this tournament, made top 8, and I just don't see Mega Sableye being super useful in any other situations here. I mean, I tried my best. I brought it quite a bit. Confuse Ray is totally hacks. Confuse Ray is so hacks. My opponent used the move a bunch of times that made it so I attacked about a third of the times I was supposed to. If that's not hacks, I don't know what is. Like, there's no move like that in any other like competitive game. There's not a Hadoken that means your opponent just like sucks. Like hits himself with confusion. But anyways, that was the tournament. I played really well. Overall, I mean, making top cut is pretty good. I need the CP. But it was sad to see the team, like, literally, like, I played such a great tournament, and then just my team get, like, torn apart in the last 3 games by sub Heatran, which is completely my fault. I mean, I didn't try my Arcanine to outspeed it, and, I just really thought that me having a Landorus, which I never brought, ever, except for this, like, last game in the 3rd round, I just thought having a Landorus would mean, like, hey, they're probably not going to bring their Heatran. I have a Landorus. I have a Gastrodon, too. They're probably not going to bring that. So, I guess I didn't scare off the Heatrans enough, and I lost, but I had fun, and I just think I have to go back to the drawing board. I've topped with, at VGCs, I've topped with Mega Sceptile, and now I've topped with Mega Gardevoir, Mega Sableye. I think the next thing I want to use is probably Latios, but I don't know if I want it to be Mega. I haven't decided on the Mega for that team yet, because I might still stick with Mega Sableye and use Latios like a Scarf set, because I just think Latios has a lot of KO power and stuff that you wouldn't normally see. Because the reason why I wanted Gardevoir here was I wanted a Pokemon that could check Venusaur and Mungus. So that's what Gardevoir's for. Latios can do that. I wanted a Pokemon that could check Landorus to an extent and a bunch of other Pokemon. Latios can do that with Ice Beam. And I want a Pokemon that can check Heatran, and Latios can do that with HP Ground, which I'm also using on my Latios set. So it looks like if I use a Latios set, it's either going to be like a Scarf set with Draco, or it's going to be like a Life Orb set with no Dragon moves, which would be kind of terrible. Get a Sock or a Ferrothorn. Well, I don't need... Ferrothorn wouldn't do anything here. I would just go down to the Heatran. I think that would just go down to Heatran. I really don't... I'm not a big fan of Ferrothorn here. I think Ferrothorn right now is a pretty good Pokemon, but in most situations, just Rocky Helmet and Mungus is much better. And my team's not scared of Kangaskhan. I have 2 Ghost types, a Will-O-Wisp, a Scalder, an Intimidator, and a Pokemon that outspeeds it in Gardevoir because I'm using a Timid set. So my team is definitely not afraid of Kangaskhan at all, and the main Mega I tried to pick apart when making the team was Kangaskhan. So, and you saw me KO like every single Kangaskhan I fought during the tournament, so I liked that. And for Sock, I fought a Sock on day 2. I just don't like Sock. I think Lucario is a much better Pokemon. It gets Follow Me, it gets Extreme Speed, and if you just sash it, it kind of works the same way. So that's my 2 cents on that whole that. Oh, I'm sure level 71 Sock is pretty powerful. I'm not denying that, but he's not that fast. So, guys, I think I'm going to call the stream there. I'm probably going to play some Hearthstone and then go to bed. But those are my games from the tournament. I had a lot of fun, and I think that I'm probably going to be retiring this team to the record books. So, thank you guys for coming out and supporting the stream. I really appreciate it. The new followers I got tonight. I really wanted to thank, I think it was, hold on, I know this person's name, and I'm going to find it. Because I got a new sub tonight. Ace of Jokers, I think was the person's name. Yeah. So, thank you for subscribing. We're going to be getting a sub icon. We're going to be getting new emoticons. If you have any suggestions for things you might want to see as an emoticon, send me a message on Twitch, and we can try and work around that, because you know, those things are for you guys. They're not for me. So thank you guys for coming and supporting the stream. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys when I see you, which will probably be pretty soon. So thanks. I'll see you guys later.